Hello, my paper peeps. Today I want to share with you how I add envelopes to this junk journal here. And there are places where I want to add them to. Sometimes I'll add them to the front here and sometimes to the back of the signatures, sometimes in the middle of the signatures if I feel like I need something more interactive. But usually I'll add them pretty much anywhere. Now, I do have inserts in here that if you're new to this project here, I have a video on how to pull this all together. And I was able to put some envelopes in there as well as other, like here's just some corrugated cardboard. And we're going to jazz all that up, but I do have a video on how to embellish your journal pages as well, so that you can flex that creative muscle all while being able to journal, you know, within these pages. So I have a video on that. But today, let's just focus on adding some envelopes so that, you know, you can make it quite interactive. One of the things I did was I created some tags and some cards for the inserts that go inside the book. And so I'll show you how I use those within the book. Now for this tutorial, all you need are some envelopes. And if you have some envelopes like the window envelopes or even just regular envelopes like this, those will suffice. Even better, let's use up some of those envelopes that were previously used, and I want to repurpose them. So we can do that here as well. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is just using an envelope as a pocket. And I mean, this is quite simple. I'm just going to fold it up like this, and I'm just going to cut it in half. But first, before we cut it in half, let's glue that together and adhere that together. There we go. And we'll just cut that in half here. There. And there you have a pocket. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jazz this up first so that it fits within this book. Now, if there's anything anyone really needs on their crafting table is repositional tape, especially if you're making these junk journals and you haven't really journaled in it and you're not sure exactly where you want things, but you just want to position it, leave it there, and then should you decide that maybe that's not the place for it, then you can easily remove it. And that's why I like repositional. So it just allows you to place stuff in your journal with the freedom of being able to remove it and place it somewhere else later. So I'll do that to see how it just comes off fairly easily. And it leaves a little bit of residue, but that residue can just be kind of wiped off, which is nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that there like that. Now I've made tags that are specifically for the business envelope halves so that they kind of stick out of the envelopes. And so I made that, and if you've purchased this paper line, just to let you know, you'll be getting all this in your email, or you've probably already received it. So I'm just gonna cut these up and then just show you how they look in the pocket. And I like my tags to stick out. Do you see how this one's much larger? And so it just kind of sticks out so that, you know, if you want to add a tab there, that will stick out. And then add some other embellishments here that will kind of be its own little glory. And then there's this part here. So they kind of all layer themselves just like that. And then you have that beautiful addition again, going, you know, if I don't like that, the beauty of repositional, if I don't like that, you can place that somewhere else in your journal. And I don't fuss with, you know, changing the colors to match the ephemera. Like seriously, I keep it very simple. It's like, that's it. I might pull out an orange at some point, but in general, I really want to get the job done. And when this goes to my journaling table, I'll have all this out to add more ephemera and stuff, but I don't want a lot out. I just want a few colors out because you want to keep it simple. The next envelope we're going to be doing is what I call a coin envelope. And I love these because coin envelopes are known for just securing precious and valuable items. And so I always found it was quite nice to have one of these in my crafting journals. And so I'm going to show you how to use this envelope. This is a repurposed envelope, and use that inside your journal. You know what? I'm going to put it on the other side of this because this has, you know, with all that mixed media, it's kind of roughed up this edge here, which I probably won't do much journaling on. And so I think this would be a perfect place to put that envelope because it's already been mixed mediated up. So we'll put it on this side here. Now, when you make these envelopes, you want to seal this in, but before you seal that in, you actually have to cut this top off. You want to cut 1 3/4 of an inch off of this part here. So let's measure that. So this is 1 3/4, and this is 1 3/4. So before sealing the envelope, we need to cut that off, but not the whole portion. We're actually only cutting off that inside here. So we're not cutting on this back side, we're only trimming this inside portion here. Okay. Now what you do is, and what you want to do is extend that cut line to here. Okay, so you've got this action right there. Okay, and now what you want to do is adhere this to here. So seal that down. Now you have this part here. Okay. Then you want to fold that over. Now what you're gonna do is place all your fancy paper on here. I'm just gonna use paper from the paper line. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name is Christine, and I like creating these DIY scrapbook journals. And if you're interested in this line, this is called the Pumpkin Patch Chronicles, and it's a DIY journal that you can create for yourself. It's a digital that you can print out, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below. And if you decide to join us on this journey, just to let you know, I'm not done. I always add little things to the paper line. For example, envelope inserts that go along with it. In this case, for this one, I'm just using regular paper from the paper line. But for example, in the other two examples, I actually have new printables that I will email to all those who've already started on this journey with me. So if you're new, just to let you know, I'm always adding something along the line. So you'll get anything that I add to this paper line for free in your email. So watch out for those if you decide to join us on this journey. Now you can use either a 1/2 inch circle punch or a 3/4 inch punch here. It's completely up to you. I like having elements that I use in my journal to be shown throughout the journal, and the cover is made out of this this paper here, and so I thought, you know, I'm going to use that here as well. So what I'll do is I'll just glue that on into some cardstock. I'm going to punch 2 of those out. You can see some of that white cardstock shining through, so I'm just going to ink that up. There we go. Then just take a paper piercer, and what I'm going to do is, like you see on those coin envelopes, just place these on like that. And in keeping with using the same elements throughout the album, I'm going to use what I used for the binding system, and this is floss thread, more specifically embroidery floss. I had that other sheet that I cut from this, and I'm just going to add that in there as a tag. Now, if you have any of these lying around, this is a great way to repurpose, if it's an old envelope, repurpose that window. I have actually used this whole envelope in some of my other videos, which I'm going to put a link to at the end of this video, that shows you how to use the whole envelope and use that window as a place to accent any of your papers or anything like that in your journal. So I'll put a link to that in the description box below, or actually at the end of this video if you want to learn how to use the whole envelope. But today we're just going to use this portion right here. We have to trim it quite close to the window here on either side here, because we want it to be able to fit in the journal. And I'll save this as a pocket that I'll use later on in the journal. And I'm just going to use my stamp set that I used throughout the journal, and I'll put a link to this in the description box below as well. But I'll use this to kind of jazz it up a little bit. This becomes a belly band for your journal, and you can place some double-sided adhesive here. And there. It just acts as a beautiful little belly band for your journal. You can place some of your frames in there, some of your tags, and just be able to showcase all the goodness that's underneath there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want more tips and tricks on how to decorate and jazz up those junk journals, then you'll probably want to watch this video here. And if you're part of this journey, then I have a playlist here that will show you all the videos on how I pull this together. So until I see you in those videos, take care and have a fantastic week. Bye.